How about this? Dallas Mavericks owner and the big-time billionaire Mark Cuban. He is, of course, an outspoken opponent of President Trump. He says he is seriously considering a run for the presidency in 2020. Now, hold on a second. Just yesterday, Cuban tweeted this to President Trump: "When will you address the exploding cost of college and the problem of student debt?" He's on the attack. My next guest is a former Dallas Mavericks co-owner, and he says the Mavericks' TV ratings are hurting because of Cuban's anti-Trump statements. Come on in, please, Frank Zaccanelli, who joins us now from Dallas. Is that accurate? I do believe that the Mavericks' TV ratings are down, but you say it's because of Cuban?
Well, I say it's because the team is not very good and because of, things that Cuban has done and said. So, I think the combination of all that is going to be what we really want to talk about here. The interesting thing is I went through 2 presidential campaigns with the great H. Ross Perot in '92 and in '96. I worked on them. I was around them. And there's no way your business is going to stay stagnant when you're running for president or you're intimating, like Cuban, that you're going to run for president. There's going to be things that will happen. And I think that you shouldn't get out of bed in the morning if you don't realize that the world around you is somewhat going to change.
So you think that if Cuban does indeed run for the presidency, or keeps making vigorous, shall we say, political statements, that could be bad for the Dallas Mavericks?
Well, I think it's just going to be what it's going to be because, again, when you move into that realm, I think if you sat down and you talked to Donald Trump, I think his whole world changed when he made a decision that this is what he wanted to do. And so you get yourself into that paradigm that, you're going to have some people that think that your political views are correct and some are going to think that they're not very correct. So that's how it works.
You know him. You've worked with him fairly closely, I'm sure. What do you think, not of his politics, but of his approach to politics? What do you make of Cuban?
Well, I am a firm believer that the Constitution allows for anybody to run for president. You, me, anyone else. I'm not running for president, but, it's good that you can do it. And I think that he's exercising his constitutional right. I think he has the right to do that. And I think that he needs to understand what those ramifications are.
Do you want him to?
I really am indifferent about it, Stuart. I'm indifferent about it. The thing that I want is I'd like to see our country come together. I'd like to see the name-calling stop. I was involved in a Business Insider article where they asked us, and it's a great publication, and they asked us about, what we thought about Cuban and this and that. And I got into the job thing. Cuban made some statements about jobs. The 25,000 jobs was not that significant. It was like moving chairs around the Titanic. I would suggest to you that him or anyone else who took that position is taking a very dangerous position because those are 25,000 families that depend on those jobs. And so I just think he has to be very, very, very careful. And again, the Business Insider, didn't get into a lot of that with me. But
he's not known for being careful, Frank.
I've
got to run. Frank Zaccanelli, thanks very much for joining us from Dallas. We appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed.